Hello, my name is Ben, and I make Pokemon videos and post them to you on YouTube. And here I got a match against BattleToad, and let's get started. Alright, so he leads off with the Jolteon, and I lead off with Gengar. And this is my lead Gengar with a Focus Sash, but he T-Waves, and I get Parahaxed right off the bat, which sucks. So now he's going to go Shadow Ball, which will hit me down to my Focus Sash. I guess that's alright with me. I mean, I'm just going to go for a Shadow Ball myself and hope to KO him. So that's what happens, and unfortunately it does not KO, and he lives it with, I'm not going to estimate, but a little less than a fourth of health. So I switch into Blissey to take the special attack, and Blissey takes that wonderfully, because that's probably the best special wall in the game. And I go for Seismic Toss, hoping to KO the Jolteon, but he switches into Gliscor, which, if you watch my last video, I know a little bit about Gliscor. I mean, this is not a lead one, so I did not see the knockoff coming there. So Blissey without leftovers kind of sucks, but I get a poison up on the Gliscor. Sorry for slurring my words there, it's a little late at night here. But he U-turns out of there, so that's cool, gets some damage, and gets a switch, but I just go for Seismic Toss, because I'm trying to stock up some toxic damage on him, and I hit the incoming Rampardos, and it uses Outrage, and it goes first, and that should not go first, so I know this thing is Choice Scarfed, and luckily I went for the Thunder Wave, thinking that it was going to Rock Polish. But now I go into Steelix, because I resist the Outrage there, and Steelix is a beast of a wall. I mean, it doesn't even take 50 damage from that, so I know I can live the Outrage, and I take this time to set up my Stealth Rocks. So he gets confused here, so I know he's going to switch out. I mean, who would keep in a paralyzed, confused Pokemon? So he switches into Blisky, and I predict that and just go for the Roar. And so I roar him into Gliscor, which is actually pretty good. Get some Stealth Rock damage on that, which is always good to get damage in this game, if you did not know that. And I switch out here, predicting the knockoff, and he just takes this time to set up his Stealth Rocks. And I'm going to Blisky, because Blisky already lost her item, so the knockoff wouldn't do much. So I predict a switch or something, or U-turn, and I decide to Soft Boil. Don't know why he didn't U-turn, I mean, it's free damage, but either way, I Soft Boil. And he goes into his Blissey, and I'm like, alright, I'll T-Wave your Blissey, and hope that that makes you want to switch out, because of Natural Cure, but Aromatherapy did not see that one coming. So half the team was statused there, so now that's all removed. And I go into Gengar's Death Fodder just so I get a free switch, but he switches too, so would have been a free switch either way. But now I go into my Choice Scarf Gallade, which I know can outspeed Jolteon, and I go for a close combat, just in case he tries to switch out here to like Blissey or something. And so that takes down the Jolteon, and he switches into Gliscor, which I know can take the close combat, so I switch back into Blissey, because for some reason I love this matchup. I don't know why, but now he reveals he has the Earthquake, which is not shocking, most Gliscors do. And that does a little bit of damage, but I think I can survive another one, so I stay in and decide to go for the Soft Boil. Oh, by the way, I hope you noticed the way better quality of the video. I'm pretty proud of that, actually, but I'll talk while Blissey's gaining back all that HP. Anyway, so now I think he's going to go Earthquake again. Why wouldn't he? So I go into my Gyarados, who is immune to Earthquake, because that is Ground type, and Flying is immune to Ground, for those of you who did not know that. And right now I know he still has that Scarfed Rampardos, and I predict he's going to go into that to outspeed my Gyarados after a Dragon Dance. So I just go for the Waterfall immediately to KO the Rampardos, and that's what happens. So there's nothing like predicting correctly. It makes you feel good inside. So I get some leftovers recovery, and he sends out this, and I'm like, oh boy, Scarfed Porygon Z. I have nothing that can deal with that. So I go into Dust and Wire predicting a Tri-Attack, because Thunderbolt would be too easy. And I get it, so way to go, Dustnoir, for being immune to normal type. And I predict the Gliscor and go Ice Punch, and I figure that's going to KO, but it just doesn't. He just has that much physical defense, I guess. More physical defense than my lead Gliscor, apparently. And I go into Gyarados, predicting the Earthquake again, and he actually goes Knockoff, which isn't a big deal. But here's a huge misplay for me, because I really should have just gone for the Dragon Dance. For some reason, I thought he had Roost, even though I've seen his entire set right now. So that sucks, because I would have been able to outspeed this Gengar right now and KO'd with a Waterfall probably. But instead, I am forced to switch into Blissey and he predicts that, so that sucks. And he goes Focus Blast, and Blissey can take that fairly well. I mean, without that leftovers though, it's cutting it close if the T-Bolt's gonna kill. But because Blissey's epic, it lives, but it gets paralyzed. And it gets parahaxed. And I went for the T-Wave there, which would have been nice, because that means I wouldn't have to have gone into my Choice Scarf Gallade here. So I could have gone into something else like that Gyarados to finish it off, and made that a Choice Scarf Porygon Z, which I believe is where he goes into, get locked into Thunderbolt as opposed to, well, actually he goes Thunderbolt, so I guess I would have been more of a safe switch into Steelix as opposed to going to Dusknoir here. But now I know he is locked into that T-Bolt, so switch into Steelix, who's immune, and I know he's going to have to switch out. So I decide that this would be a great time for my Steelix to just Earthquake, get some damage done, and hits the incoming Blissey, and does some decent damage. I mean, Blissey's got a ton of HP, it's not going to kill, obviously, because I have 0 EVs invested into Steelix's attack. That's actually max special defense, which is pretty cool. So I switch into Dusknoir, predicting the Seismic Toss there. But he has Fire Blast, so that sucks, and he gets the burn. So he gets just more and more hacks. And that's not cool in my opinion, but I live with 6 HP, so that's kind of cool. And I was praying to God he missed that one, but he hits. I would have Pain Splitted there and gained back almost all my HP. So now I switch into my Gyarados here. And I've seen most of this moveset, and I do another bad thing, and I taunt when I know it does not have T-Bolt. Or, not T-Bolt, T-Wave. And so I really don't know what I was thinking there, so now I just have to Waterfall and do as much damage as possible. But that's not going to KO, unfortunately. It brings it down to about a 4th health, and the Seismic Toss will kill Gyarados. So now I go into Steelix, I believe, because I'm still fearing that Choice Scarfed, what's it called, the Porygon Z, and I want Steelix to take the first hit because I don't want it getting locked into a Tri-Attack, because I think Gallade, with its pretty high special defense, can live a Thunderbolt, and that's the only other attack I know at this point. And I go Earthquake, trying to kill the Blissey, but it just doesn't die. But as you can see, the max special defense of Steelix is actually pretty helpful here, because I'm able to live 2 Fire Blasts. And I Roar here. I mean, Roar or Earthquake, either one's going to kill it, because of Stealth Rock damage. But now he goes into his Choice Scarf Porygon Z, and Ice Beams. And that's going to KO, but at least it's not Tri-Attack, so I think Gallade can live one. And right here I find out that his is Choice Specs Porygon Z. So that could have saved you guys probably like 2 minutes of your life if you had seen that he was actually Specs instead of Scarf. If I had seen that, would have saved me some time and not wasted all those Pokemon. So good game, like me, comment, subscribe.